What happened to you? Understanding the impact of childhood experiences. Did you know that childhood experiences can shape your entire life? Research shows that more than 60% of people go through some form of trauma in their childhood, which affects how they think, feel, and build relationships. But the real question is, what happened to you? This book, written by Oprah Winfrey and Dr. Bruce Perry, helps us understand how our past experiences influence our present and how we can heal ourselves. Let's explore it through a storytelling approach, changing the question, changing the perspective. Our perspective shapes our thoughts, and our thoughts shape our behavior. When we try to understand someone's behavior, we often look at it superficially. Someone is irritable, someone gets angry quickly, and someone is always sad. We assume it's just their nature. But if we look into their past, we might see a different picture. The problem 1. Ignoring childhood trauma. Many people don't realize that childhood experiences leave a lasting impact. Children who go through domestic violence, neglect, or emotional and physical abuse often suppress their pain. But this trauma stays in their subconscious and manifests in their behavior as adults, too. Judging behavior instead of understanding it. When someone shouts in anger, we label them as short tempered. When someone distances themselves from others, we see them as arrogant. But have we ever tried to understand why they behave this way? Maybe they have been through pain, heartbreak, or betrayal. The solution: ache. Change the question next time someone behaves unexpectedly. Don't ask, "Why are you acting like this?" Instead, think, "What pain might be behind this behavior?" 2. Learn to listen. People share their stories only when they find someone they trust. If we listen without judgment, they may open up about their pain. 3. Develop empathy. When we practice empathy, we try to understand a person beyond their behavior. This makes us more compassionate and helps us build deeper connections. When we make these changes, we not only understand others better but also get to know ourselves on a deeper level. Changing our perspective can change our lives. Childhood wounds and their impact. Childhood is the foundation of our lives. Just like a strong foundation keeps a building stable, a happy and secure childhood helps a person become emotionally and mentally balanced. But if a child experiences fear, neglect, or violence, these wounds stay with them for a lifetime. We often fail to understand why someone behaves a certain way. Some people get excessively angry, some struggle to trust others, and some isolate themselves. In reality, these behaviors are linked to their childhood experiences. This chapter explores how childhood trauma affects mental health and how one can heal from it. Scientific facts. Studies show that childhood trauma leaves a long-term impact on the brain. According to the American Psychological Association, children who face emotional, physical, or mental abuse often grow up to be more prone to stress, at higher risk of depression, more aggressive or violent, struggling with low self-esteem, finding it difficult to maintain relationships, more likely to engage in self-harm or addiction. Brain impact. Children who experience severe trauma have altered brain development. Their amygdala, the part of the brain that controls fear and emotions, becomes overactive. High levels of cortisol, stress hormone, keep them in a constant fight-or-flight mode. This is why childhood pain should not be taken lightly. It can deeply shape a person's personality and mental well-being. The story of Riaria's childhood was filled with neglect and emotional distress. Her parents frequently fought, leaving her feeling invisible and unimportant. Sometimes she was scolded for no reason, and sometimes she felt like she didn't matter. As Ria grew up, she realized she had anger issues. She would lose her temper over small things and then feel guilty afterward. Relationships were also a challenge. Whenever someone got too close, she feared they would leave her. Her brain had never learned what safety and security felt like. So, whenever a situation reminded her of her childhood pain, her body and mind reacted in fear, aggression, or detachment. Ria's story helps us understand how deeply childhood experiences can shape us. But the good news is, healing is possible with conscious effort. How to heal from childhood trauma 1. Acceptance is the first step. Many people try to suppress or forget their childhood pain, believing that it's in the past and doesn't matter anymore. But true healing begins when we acknowledge our pain instead of denying it. If you feel your anger, anxiety, or sadness is linked to your childhood, accept it instead of ignoring it. This is the first and most important step. 2. Prioritize mental health. Seek therapy. A good psychologist or therapist can help you understand and overcome your experiences. Practice meditation. Meditation calms the mind and reduces stress, helping you manage past emotions better. Build a support system. Surround yourself with people who understand and support you without judgment. Adopt healthy habits. Good sleep, proper nutrition, and regular exercise can improve mental well-being. 3. Learn to love yourself. People who have experienced childhood trauma often struggle with self-worth. But it's important to understand that your past does not define you. Your healing does. Our childhood wounds are not just memories. They shape our minds and hearts. But the good news is, we can heal if we take the right steps. Chapter 3. How does the brain change? We often feel discouraged, thinking that our past has already determined our future. If we experienced pain, hardship, or insecurity in childhood, we believe we will always remain the same, fearful, weak, or helpless. But science tells a different story. Our brain is not fixed like a stone, instead, it constantly changes and evolves. This ability is called neuroplasticity, the power of the brain to reshape itself through new thoughts, new habits, and new experiences. In this chapter, we will understand how negative childhood experiences affect us. Why do people consider their past as their fate? And how can we reprogram our brains to transform our lives? Fact. What is neuroplasticity? Neuroplasticity is a scientific concept that states our brain always has the ability to change. If negative childhood experiences made us weak, then new positive experiences can make us strong. This concept proves that we can change our old ways of thinking and feeling, form new neural connections, and improve our mental state. How does neuroplasticity work? When we learn a new skill, adopt a new way of thinking, or experience something different, new neural connections form in our brain. If we repeat something frequently, that thought or action creates a strong neural pathway in the brain. The more we adopt positive habits, the more capable our brain becomes of improving and strengthening itself. An important study. Research has shown that people who practice regular meditation and positive thinking develop stronger areas in the brain that reduce stress and anxiety, prefrontal cortex, making them feel more calm, balanced, and happy. Can childhood trauma be reversed? Yes. If we adopt the right methods, work on ourselves, and fill our minds with new experiences, we can heal from old wounds and give ourselves a new life. Problem 1. People think they are prisoners of their past. Many people believe they can never change. If they faced rejection, shame, or neglect in childhood, they assume they will live that way forever. They remain trapped in their past wounds and do not even accept the possibility of change. 2. Self-doubt and fear persist due to childhood experiences. Children who grew up feeling afraid often struggle with self-doubt as adults. They do not believe they can succeed in anything. Whenever they face a challenge, their brain immediately recalls past pain, and they step back due to the fear of failure. An example: Amit always heard in childhood that he was incapable. When he grew up, despite being talented, every time he faced a new challenge, his brain told him, "You can't do this." As a result, he kept missing great opportunities. But if Amit understands that his brain can change, he can overcome his fears and self doubt. Solution 1. The brain needs new positive experiences. Our brain does not rely solely on past experiences, it also learns from new ones. If we gather new positive experiences daily, our brain gradually starts to change. We must put ourselves in situations that make us feel safe, happy, and confident. How to do it? Tell yourself something positive every day. I am capable. I can create change. Achieve small successes and acknowledge them. Learn new things, whether it's an art form, music, or a new language. 2. Self care, meditation, and therapy can reprogram the brain. Self care: get enough sleep, eat well, take time for yourself. Meditation calms the mind and helps in letting go of past pain. Therapy: talking to a psychologist helps us understand our thoughts and emotions. An important fact: research shows that adopting a positive habit for just 21 days can start to change the brain. So, if we continuously embrace positive experiences, our brain will begin to accept a new way of thinking. Our brain is not a closed book that cannot be changed. Neuroplasticity proves that we can transform our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors if we use the right methods. If childhood experiences made us weak, new experiences can make us strong. We just need to work on ourselves, change our thinking patterns, and fill our minds with positive experiences. If you liked this chapter, let us know in the comments which part you found most valuable. Also, tell us which book summary you'd like next. Your feedback is very important to us, so don't forget to comment. Chapter 4: The Journey of Healing. Many times in life, we feel broken. We believe there is something missing in us, that we are inferior to others, or that we will never be able to move beyond our past, especially if we didn't receive the love, security, and recognition we needed in childhood. We carry that pain into adulthood. But do wounds last forever? No. Just as physical wounds heal with time, emotional and mental wounds can also heal with the right care. We just need to move in the right direction, understand ourselves, and give ourselves the love we never received. Healing is not easy, but it is not impossible either. This chapter will explain how self-acceptance and proper guidance can help us break free from past pain and live a confident life. Story: Arjun's story. Arjun always felt he was less than others. Since childhood, he was made to feel that he could never meet his parents' expectations. When he couldn't score well in school, he was taunted. When he tried to speak his mind, he was silenced. When he attempted something new, he was told, "You can't do this." Gradually, Arjun lost confidence in himself. He became afraid of everything: challenges, talking to people, expressing himself. He believed, no matter how hard I try, I will never be good enough. His self-esteem dropped so much that he distanced himself from others. But one day, Arjun realized he couldn't remain a prisoner of his past. He understood that his parents' criticism and rejection were not his fault. He wanted to take a new path, one of self-acceptance, self-love, and understanding his pain. It wasn't easy. But as he started working on his wounds, his confidence began to return. Today, Arjun is a self-assured person. He knows his worth is not dependent on someone else's opinion. He respects and loves himself. He embraced his past as a lesson, not a burden. Arjun's story teaches us that healing is possible if we are willing to work on ourselves. Solution: healing is not easy, but with the right steps, it can be a beautiful journey. We need to adopt 3 essential things. 1. Learn to love yourself. Many of us forget to love ourselves, especially if we were never taught how. We constantly compare ourselves to others and focus on our flaws. But the first and most important step of healing is accepting ourselves as we are. How to do it? Say something positive to yourself daily. I am capable. I am worthy of love. I can change my life. Give yourself the love that you may not have received from others. Focus on your achievements, no matter how small. 2. Surround yourself with the right people and guidance. The people we spend time with have a major impact on our mental state. If we stay with those who pull us down, it becomes difficult to heal. So, it is crucial to be with people who inspire, understand, and support us. How to do it? Connect with friends and mentors who support your growth. Distance yourself from negative and toxic people. Do not hesitate to seek help from a therapist or life coach. 3. Understand and accept your emotions. Many people suppress their emotions, thinking it's a sign of weakness. But true healing happens when we fully accept our feelings. How to do it? Keep a journal and write your thoughts daily. Talk to a trusted person. Identify what triggers your emotions and work on them. Healing doesn't happen in a day. It's a journey that makes us stronger and better. If you liked this chapter, let us know in the comments. Your thoughts matter.